Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? I don't know, it's a bit dramatic. It was rather windy earlier today. I thought you just want to know it's not windy anymore, so you probably can't hear any. There's only a slight flutter on the leaves of the trees outside my window. Where before it was, I'm not going to say it was like gale winds. Gale winds are like strong enough to take roofs off houses or something, right? I forget the definition, but it was pretty windy, pretty noisy. But anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 5:54 p.m. on Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. Enough to really speak of today, so we'll go about our usual business. What I've been up to today, usual stuff, a little bit of programming, a little bit of drawing, a little bit of playing some Life is Strange True Colours, recorded about earlier today. Oh, well, it reminds me, I meant to start uploading those videos. Can I say, the Talos Principle videos I uploaded yesterday, they were like 20, one of them was like, hold on, one was 29 gigabytes, the other was 26 gigabytes, that is too big. How am I even meant to conceivably upload those videos? Sorry, I'm doing a bit of YouTube management work in the middle of Animal Crossing. At this point, you should kind of expect it, because that's just kind of exactly how it goes. Let's see who our visitor for today is. Spending time with Peter. We've had this exact letter before. Is it red? Joy-Con drift makes it a little bit difficult to judge. It's not red. We have someone else visiting entirely. Yeah, but what's been going on? You know what's been interesting? I suppose yesterday was the fact that it's Label. I keep calling you LaBelle. Is the fact that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all went down for 7 hours yesterday, which is a golf outfit. Oh, interesting. Which, if you didn't realise, you're forgiven, obviously, because like not many people particularly pay attention to. I'm not gonna say not many people. That's kind of misleading, isn't it? I'd imagine Facebook is kind of dying. The only times I use Facebook is never, for one, but for two, for connecting with people I only have on Facebook rather than anywhere else. And even now, I'd much rather connect on literally any other platform. WhatsApp, fair enough, but I don't use it all the time. Most of the time I use for communication methods will be for Discord, because most of my friends are on Discord. That's significantly easier for me, and perhaps significantly easier for you as well. I don't know. We have a lot of random things in our inventory. I'm not sure how this really come to be. What Nookmap missions do we got going on? Talk to people, rocks, DIY fossils. Talk to people, rock, DIY fossils. Okay. Yeah, but Instagram is obviously the people's choice for social media. Most days and most Mondays. I don't think people have really been itching to shift onto another one. I feel like Instagram is basically what everyone uses. WhatsApp for general conversation, and Instagram for most other reasons. The new Facebook, which is amusing since it's being owned by Facebook in the first place. But yeah, I mean, it's not very common that you have much of like a internet blackout, I suppose. Whether, oh my god, the Joy-Con drift. The internet, it's not the internet goes down, but it's like more like the internet is that bit of a standstill, as people can no longer access. I don't want to mess up you catching a bug. You still got another opportunity, Phoebe. Just let me give you this present. Maybe it'll motivate you. It's happened before where it started to go down for a long time. No, honestly, normally it's Reddit. I feel like Reddit has gone down, especially in recent days, far more often than most of the other social media sites. But Twitter is quite infamous for going down a reasonable amount as well. But amusingly, it was Reddit and Twitter the only two that survived, I suppose, yesterday's outage. And I'll be honest, I didn't realise for a long while that they went down. I only found out because I was checking Instagram. Like I don't check it particularly often, but I checked it and I was like, huh, it's not loading. How weird. And then I just looked at Twitter and I saw all the sort of memes about the fact that Instagram and etc. other social media sites are at a standstill because they've gone down. Okay, so we need to make a a goth costume, which we'll do despite the fact that we don't particularly need to, but perhaps as a achievement for helping out LaBelle. I don't actually know. We probably shouldn't have put the vampire costume away, but I did. But it does allow us to get a full body costume, which perhaps looks a bit more gothy. What looks quite goth-like? I suppose a witch's outfit's quite goth-like, isn't it? Oh my god, the Joy-Con drift has gone absolutely insane. Oh my god. I just want to get the witch's outfit. Sorry, mage's dress. Just think if there's anything else particularly more gothy. I mean, this is Gothic Lolita, if that really counts, but... It's more punk, yeah. I was going to say. It's not particularly goth-like. What is a goth-like hat? A frugal hat? I would say like a choker, but that's not really an option. I don't know, let's just dress as a witch. That's pretty goth-like, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's happened before in the past where sites have come to like a standstill because of, I mean, it is October, so I suppose we should get in season. But I'm trying to think when last time. So there's one time it happened where like a huge amount of sites just went down for some reason because there was something that went wrong with like the Google DNS service or something. I can't remember when that was exactly, which was astounding. You really don't realise how much you rely on certain sites until they start going down. You're just like, oh, what happened to them? Oh, you like my gothic outfit? I'm flattered. But yeah, it's a bit of an unusual scenario, I suppose, seeing Instagram. And I mean, it's not too unusual for one site to go down, but Facebook tends to be a rather, well, actually, maybe it's not. I was going to say perhaps it's a much more of a reliable website for keeping up, but no, that's as far I'm willing to really say many good things about Facebook in the first place. But you can't put things. Oh, wear. I meant to wear it, not put things. Excuse me as I get a change in front of you label. Yeah, okay. Hit rocks, fossils. Hit rocks, fossils. That's what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, it's a rare case in the first place for one site, major site, to go down. I mean, they've got a lot of different protective measures in place to ensure it doesn't happen in the first place because, you know, their kind of business and livelihood relies on them not being able to be taken down. And, you know, certainly not from DDoS attacks or anything like that. So you would have thought they're well guarded against it. But I'm not even sure what made the sites go down this time. I haven't actually looked into it. Perhaps this is something covered in, I don't know. Let's see. Google it. Why did Facebook go down? Let's see what the answers said. The Independent has apparently answered upon this. Independent, not a bad website, so I guess we'll look at it. Good thing that video is muted. Never really truly caused what the problems were. Oh, they had a record outage in 2019, fair enough. Related to the domain name system, a DNS change. I think that affected tons and tons of sites. Let's see, when it comes to Facebook, just get to the point. I hate reading these news articles which just wander about like crazy. You know I'm here for, I don't care. Okay, screw the Independent, they're not helpful. New York Times, come on. I know what Facebook is. You don't need to explain what Facebook is to me, nor what a technology outage is. The culprit was changes to underlying internet infrastructure that coordinates the traffic between its data centers. The interrupted communications cascaded to other data centers, bringing our services to a halt. Interesting. I can't even imagine how change your wardrobe. We should, I guess, do that. We're going to pass Able Sisters, so that'll be fine. Hot item, and let's get. Do we have enough coconuts? Don't think we do. I can't imagine how stressful it must be working as one of the IT support staff or something like that situation, you know. At least it's on a Monday, you know, but so you actually work. But imagine just getting called and be like, yeah, our entire product is not working currently. It happened. I remember this happened in League of Legends. Sorry to compare this to League of Legends, but it's like really the only game that I've had huge amounts of participation in over years. But there's one patch they pushed out, and then like everything was fine, and then they were gonna like stop for a weekend or something. But suddenly, like all the servers started going down. Like they tested it on a small server, and like Japan or something, and it was fine. And then they pushed it to the bigger servers, and then suddenly they got reports like as they were wrapping up. They were like, "Oh, everything's fine." And then every server started just like dropping, and no one could play games for like the entire weekend. And then the poor devs had to, you know, or the people. Not necessarily the devs, I suppose, but people who work in that network infrastructure had to like come in and just basically sort it out for like multiple hours. Extreme exercises must be ruined because I don't think we're good enough friends with Tank yet. Which, you know, obviously they want the people who run the games probably run the services, kind of like the services, and want it to keep going, and having it go down isn't bad. But obviously they have a huge financial pressure from business people and the management up top to be like, hey, yeah, this shouldn't be happening, otherwise you're fired or something. Which is obviously rather stressful. So I can't even imagine the nightmare must have been. Imagine reporting to Mark Zuckerberg being like, hey, you know, all your money-making websites are down, all your data harvesting sites. It must be terrifying, to be perfectly honest, to be one of the data engineers. Well, it's not even data engineers, probably aren't it? One of the communication, the technology engineers or whatever, the infrastructure people. I don't know. There's specific titles, and I'm not really much of a software developer, so I can't really say for certain what titles will be required for this aspect. But being one of those people, and basically being tasked with, hey, you need to fix this, or no one's getting paid, or anything like that. So everything is on the line. It must be incredibly stressful. Like, I'm thankful to the people who've done it. Of course, even though I don't really use their product much, it's at least, you know, other people use it, and other people will probably be quite upset at it being down. So, you know, thankful for the hard work they put in to actually try and solve everything, and it's a good thing that they managed in the end. Hold on, no, I don't want to talk to you about this, because it's not yours. I want to talk to Rowan, who is walking around the place, but we need to find one more fossil. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what other technological outages there were. Obviously, services go down all the time, like internet service providers especially are quite notorious, I suppose, for this in the first place. Like, I don't think there's any internet service provider out there which people won't complain about, because, you know, when your internet personally goes down, I think people notice, is perhaps why, but also because internet, I guess it's kind of hard to run a stable internet service, you know, because there's a lot that goes into management of like fluxes of internet usage and that sort of thing. And like you might think well, okay, maybe you won't, but I suppose the naive perspective would be like, oh, you just sort of like take an average of what most people need or require any times, and then just you use that all the time, and you use that as your sort of like maximum capacity, and treat that as maximum capacity, and make sure your servers or whatever software or services you have can account for that and run under that average capacity, which is fair, you know. That's as I reiterate, a naive way of thinking about it, because, you know, what happens when it comes to surges and things, you know, not many people, at least in the UK, are using the internet at like 4 AM, but a lot of people probably use it at like, you know, from 6 to 8 or so. Oh, I see what you're talking about. We'll get back to the conversation. You, Tank, you know stuff about working out. What can you tell me about core muscles? You discover the wonders of a washboard, the appeal of the abs. So, you trying to firm up your lats or tone your obliques or what? I'm gonna level with you. Those words don't mean anything to me. I just want to be able to stand up straight after a day in the garden. Can you help me? Oh yeah, obliques it is. You gotta work. You want to work on some planks. That'll get your core going. Planks? I'm planting flowers, not trees. How's wood gonna help? Where's Rowan? Rowan was somewhere around here, wasn't he? I feel good. Thank God, Rowan. Sheesh. What was I saying? Yeah, okay, you can't go by average, but then you'd be like, okay, why don't you just go by the maximum or something, you know, just like record over like a month period or something, and then whatever maximum value is, just like make sure your service can handle that. Well, the problem is that's kind of expensive and very costly, you know. As it turns out, human usage of internet varies quite a lot. If you just go by maximum, by going from like Monday morning 7 AM usage, you are going to run into ridiculous amounts of cost and upkeep for, and honestly, most of the time, I'm sure your services won't even be used that often, used that much and used to that capacity, so you'll just be bleeding money, I suppose, and profit, which is obviously not a very good thing for a business to do. So of course there's some sort of smart way that you need to go about it, and a lot of it goes into predictions in the first place, like studying, of course, common usage patterns, studying peaks and troughs and that sort of thing, making predictions and based off when people need it, when you need to sort of like open up the other server and switch it online because of when people start using them, and when you need to, when you know it's a bit of a dead time, you can close it off and most people won't notice, and if it goes down, then it's not going to be that much of an issue. And that's when you can like do maintenance, etc, 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 I'd imagine. But a lot of times it gets kind of unpredictable, you know. I'd imagine, I don't actually know if it's true, ISP providers like try and take note, especially of like big internet events which are coming up, like maybe if it's like an online concert or like a virtual thing, or perhaps I don't know if they get spikes in like a popular video game getting an update or something, like maybe Fortnite, you know, holding that Marshmallow concert, or who's the other artist who had a big concert? I can't remember. If they pay attention to those happening and be like, okay, we need to pay attention to that. Presumably internet service providers don't, but Epic Games certainly would. They'd be like, okay, you know, we're going to make predictions of exactly how much we're going to need, and we're going to try and do it in the most cost efficient way possible, because, you know, that's how you maximise profit as a business. You might say that seems a bit unfair. Why didn't one be careful with customers first, just always run at max? Unfortunately, because of the way society is, the capitalist nature of business and what we have, that's not a very feasible way for things to run. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to make predictions, and sometimes those predictions go wrong. And oftentimes, you know, sometimes just, you know, they try and do maintenance, often there's things just straight up wrong with their program, or the services, like a bug in the code, or perhaps just like a server failing just out of nowhere, which is, you know, I suppose then leads into the concept of redundancy and having backups and being able to continue onwards despite then something failing. But then again, that adds to the cost, and it's all sort of like a statistical balancing act of, not a financial balancing act, sorry, of trying to figure out exactly what is the best choices. And, you know, that's what people get paid to do. That's what people get paid tons of money to research and find ways to save money in this aspect, you know. So, obviously, the big companies, you know, the GAFA technology companies, tend to have a lot of money to throw around. GAFA being Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon. Haven't they changed GAFA to include it like a different company now, but I can't remember what company they've changed it to include. I feel like I vaguely remember. Isn't it like GAFTA? But what would T be? Hold on. GAFA. GAFA, what does GAFA stand for? Big Tech. Big Four. What's also a Big Five? Microsoft. Oh yeah, why isn't Microsoft included in it? Why is it always GAFA but not Microsoft? I mean, I guess GAFA's more to do with data science. Maybe Microsoft isn't as known as a data science one. Fang, that's it. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Microsoft, again, still not in it. Big Five, or GAFAM. There's a lot of different ones you can use. What the heck? Alphabet, Google? Google, Alphabet? Wait, when did Google start being called Alphabet? Alphabet Inc. is Google? Wow. It was through restructuring. Fair enough. I actually had no idea. You learn a little every single day. Okay, server stuff we don't need, because we don't need it. Don't think it gets much more straightforward than that. Yeah, but technological outlet, also blackouts are not particularly common, I suppose. I think a lot of the times that you hear about technology having problems is when not necessarily these big wide blackouts, but more of that's hot item, isn't it? Yeah, hot item. More like a bug in like a code or something, or a long-lasting system which is in place, which is adopted by a lot of different companies, finding like a very bad bug in code. Like you had the ones where Apple iPhones would crash after texting, putting something, after trying to like open something or load something in notifications, or something based on the date. I can't quite remember. Tom Scott's done, by the way, some fantastic videos on these. Far better explained than I could ever be, because he understands them better. But the one I always think back about is Heartbleed. Because Heartbleed was one which I actually think is very simple to understand. I guess I can do my best to explain it now. Basically, Heartbleed was an underflow attack on a server, and I don't know, one of the protocols. Okay, maybe I can't go back in depth about the technological side of it because I don't understand. But basically, the concept is you have a server, all right, and then you have like your client side or whatever, and you know they communicate to each other. And one of the ways they can communicate each other is something called a heartbeat, I think, or like it's like checking the heartbeat of a server, and something like this. By the way, please don't razz me if I get like some of this information horribly wrong. I'm not like your primary source. I'm like a tertiary source of this information, but I just find it interesting. So this is basically sort of my understanding of it. And yeah, you can check if a server's there, and basically it's just the client going, "Hey server, are you there?" And the server is going, "Yes, I'm here." But the way it takes form in this situation is going like, "Hey server, are you there? If you're there, send me the word apple. Send the word apple back to me. It's 5 bytes long, or 5 characters long." And then the server will receive that request, that process. It will look at it, being like, "Okay, user dear wants word apple, which is 5 characters long." So it gets like its buffer of 5 characters, puts the word apple in there, and sends it off. And you know that's a heartbeat, because it's meant to be like a bum 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 bum, just checking that the server's still alive. But it's got something to send back, which is cool. But and then there's something. The heartbeat attack gets a bit weird, because there's things called like overflow and underflows which can happen, which normally just basically, you know, imagine like a beaker of water, and it's the same concept. Overflowing, underflowing is when you have like a set space or amount of something, and you either like put too much information in or you don't put enough information in. Now apparently there's a thing you can do when you're doing these sort of like heartbeat style request things, is that you go like, "Hey server, are you there? If you're there, send me the word apple. It is 2,000 characters long." And then, you know, when the server goes, "Okay, user dear wants the word apple, and it's 2,000 characters long." So they get their sort of buffer like set up, and they have 2,000 characters. They put the word apple in, and they're like, you know, it's only 5 bytes long. That's not, you know, nearly long enough. They wanted 2,000 bytes. That's, I mean, why would they lie? that's how big they said it was going to be. So then it just literally starts reading off whatever next thing is located in its memory, and starts sending that off instead. So as you can imagine, that's kind of scary. I didn't mean to drop this item, because by just going, "Hey computer, are you there? Send me the word apple. It's like 10 million characters long or something," you can get basically access to the computers, or sorry, the server, I keep calling computers, entire like current memory thought process, which, you know, can include a lot of like important details like passwords and transactions and etc, like login tokens, etc, which is very scary. And that's why it's called heartbeat, because it's like the heartbeat, but it's bleeding out all this information, I think. By the way, not all that information might be correct, by the way, and I didn't intentionally lie to you or try and misconstrue it if I got some of that information wrong. It's just how I understand it. And I thought, like, Tom Scott did a video on it, and also, actually, now I think about it, XKCD did a very simple comic explaining it. I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's such a simple exploit. I wonder how do you even discover that? And the scary thought is, how long has that been an exploit? How long have people known about that? Was it wooden table? Wooden table, I forgot what the other option was. Cutting board, okay, let's do cutting board, because that'll be significantly easier, methinks. I also don't think we've even made a cutting board yet. Cutting board, where are you? A cutting board. That is hardwood and iron nugget. But yeah. Where's I gonna go with that? I don't really know. Hold on, let me have a sip of water. Well, I had to take a little pause, but apparently Joy-Con Drift has walked me into this room, which is a little bit unintended, and I actually forgot I had other rooms which are decorated. But yeah, these like huge website outages. It's not. I'm no longer gonna say they're scary. I guess it's not that scary. As just your average end user, it's not particularly terrifying to think about. But you know, when they're on as large scale as this, of multiple websites going down, I guess part of me is just a bit like, I hope it's not a bad sign for things to come, but perhaps it is. I don't know. We'll make a thing, and I think what we'll do is we'll just clear out our inventory. Actually, we don't need to. We have like 100 spaces in our storage, right? Last time I checked. Yeah, we got like 120. That should be good for a while. What do we need? Iron and hardwood? Sounds about right. But I wonder, like, if it is a bad sign for things to come, of course, you know. Things have always been a bit more difficult running during a pandemic. I'm not going to judge the situations based off that, and I think that's perhaps a bit too big of a sweeping statement. Like, I think a lot of people have adapted now, and especially, hopefully, the pandemic is starting to wind down slightly, but, you know, that's the sort of thing you keep an eye on rather than speak to, hopefully, about it. Might as well bring some storage items that we don't need. Clear out a little bit of our inventory for any duplicates, because we don't need them anymore. Yeah, I guess it was just surprising, you know. I'm not much of a common user of Instagram or anything like that in first place, but like, so I don't know how often it's gone down in the past, but I suppose it just kind of shocked me. I was like, huh, didn't think Instagram would go down. Just some underlying problem which caused a lot of issues for lots of people. And I suppose you could sort of be like, oh, it doesn't really matter, it's a social network, you know. Doesn't really matter. It's not like it's something core went down, like, you know, I don't know, some sort of like internet server at Google, which a lot of people rely on for like hosting things, etc, etc. I'm just trying to find stuff that I have duplicates of that I want to get rid of. Apparently I don't have many socks in the first place. Well, I'm like, yeah, but you know, like, I don't think you should be so callous about being like an Instagram going down. Bear in mind, I'm not here to chill out the corporation or the company or anything like that. Like, by all means, and I'm trying to come at it from more of a just the average consumer side rather than the corporate side. And like, I don't know, the corporate doesn't care about me, so it doesn't really matter what I'd say to them. So I don't really have much of a reason for trying to shill for them, or in my opinion, but perhaps your mileage may vary. Why do we have 2 reindeer hats? I don't know why we have twos a lot of these things. It's just like, you know, people like to use these sites to sort of like relax and that sort of thing. If someone wants to use Instagram to sort of like chill out, to see what their friends are up to, see like what other people's lives are like, and, you know, perhaps show off how good their life is sometimes, by all means, as long as they have a healthy relationship with it, which, you know, arguably not everyone does, but a lot of people probably do as well. Having it taken away from them is sort of a bit callous, I feel like, to laugh at that situation and be like, haha, serves you right, to break all you social media addicted people. But to be fair, I feel like most people who take that sort of angle are people who are social media addicts themselves in certain aspects. And yes, Reddit is a social media. Just what I bring it out there. Discord too, by the way, in certain aspects. Maybe you wouldn't call it a social media as per such, but it's definitely a social platform. I wonder if Discord's ever... Also, by the way, this is a new item. Never seen this before. Spooky treats basket. It must be a holdable item, right? I'd be astonished if it wasn't. If we can do it and like spread candy or something everywhere. When is this Animal Crossing update coming, you know? I'm not sure if... I wonder if I'll get it out before Halloween, and if Halloween will be different this year compared to last year. If not, then, you know, then sometimes it just do be like that. But we're near the end of our episode now. Oh, we can't do anything? We just hold it. Alright, I mean it's cute, but like, I thought we could do something with it. But yeah, I don't know. Did it affect you? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp going down? WhatsApp is probably the more significant one, since I use that as a form of communication. If I wasn't, you know, just chilling at home, and if I needed to communicate with someone and I didn't notice, that probably could have been quite dire. Well, maybe not dire, but I suppose it could have been. But anyway, should we just round this episode up here, Ren? Yeah, why not? So yeah, did it affect you? Didn't it? I don't know. If you have been watching, thank you very much. I've spent Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord and follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.